How effective are pain medications in the long run? And does the effectiveness of these drugs wear off over time? What do we do then? In this video, I'm going to be looking into the challenges of some of the drugs that we use for pain management. And this is a very real problem that many pain medication drugs do not seem to be effective over the long term. Now, there are different terms and different names for this kind of lack of efficacy over time. The most common word we use is tolerance, that people get tolerant to a certain dose of the drug, and after that it doesn't seem to be working anymore, and often in that situation you'd have to increase the dose of the drug. But there is one group of drugs, especially called the opioids, morphine and oxycodone, fentanyl. They have a slightly unusual property with them, is that in some patients they actually can worsen the pain, and there's a term for this. It's called opioid induced hyperalgesia, wherein the pain actually gets much worse with the opioid. And this is something that's very difficult to know whether this is actually tolerance. Is the drug not working, so is the pain feeling worse, or is the drug actually making the pain worse? There are many reasons as to why this is, but opioid-induced hyperalgesia, in which case the drug itself actively makes the pain worse, is a very real phenomenon that happens with opioids. It's not known to occur with other drugs. So what are the other drugs that are used for pain management that are capable of becoming less effective over time? Almost all drugs, you can find that if the reason for your pain, or as the nerves become more sensitive, you can find that tolerance sets in. So you may find that even drugs like paracetamol or anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen are not effective every time. Weak opioids like codeine or tramadol have got a high chance of tolerance coming in very quickly. The other group of drugs are the gabapentin and the pregabalin, what are called the antineuropathic drugs, some antidepressants like amitriptyline or duloxetine. These are all drugs that are used for pain management, and they are known to have tolerance, which means that the drugs become less effective and the patients don't get that much benefit on the same dose. In the initial period, it is worth increasing the dose of the drug to see whether the benefit can again come back. But we have to be aware that all these drugs should have a bit of a safety limit, because when you go beyond a certain high dose, you start to get the side effects, the unwanted side effects. For example, with antineuropathic drugs, you can get drowsiness or lightheadedness or other problems like weight gain with gabapentinoids, or even dependence. And the same with opioids. If you go higher and higher, you start to get the more problematic side effects of increasing dosage. So tolerance is a very common phenomenon, but also a very real issue that happens with most of pain medication. And the reality comes down to this, which is why I insist that everyone who is going to come and get a prescription of medication, that we have to assume that it is only going to work on average only 30% of the time in 30% of the people, with about 30% efficacy, which means, do you have a plan that is not just about the medications? And I've covered this in other videos of mine. There is one kind of pain called nociplastic pain, where the nervous system can get sensitized, and in that kind of pain, none of these drugs will work at all at whatever dose. So in that situation, even effectiveness doesn't matter. The drug just don't work, period. So that's what these drugs are meant for, to be combined as part of an integrated pain plan. Love to hear from you. Thank you and keep your comments coming, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching the videos. I hope you're getting value from them. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications on when the next videos are to be released.